Okay, welcome to another Procrastinators Math Rescue worksheet number 12. I was paying very close attention. For some reason, I'm going to do number 12 first, then 11, but that's here nor there. This one, taken all the questions from past HSC papers. Just starting to find it a little bit hard to find the exact questions that I want to cover, like all the topics just from trial papers. This takes a fair bit of time to get through them, but I will keep looking for some. But at the moment, I think this is all right, so we'll keep going. So ratios. In a raffle, the total prize money is shared among the first two tickets drawn in the ratio 6-4. The prize per second is that. What's the total prize pool? Okay, so you want to look at what the total is. Total parts. There's 10 parts. So what that's saying is second prize actually 4/10 is equal to $360. Okay, so we want to know what the six tenths equals to. So how do you do it? So for me, what I would done is saying 360 divided by 4. Why? Because this gets me back to this 1. Like that equals 90. Okay, so $90 is one part. And how many parts do we want for first place? 6. So 6 times 90 equals 540. And there you go. Add those two together, and that's 900, which would have been, if we had said 10 times that, which would have been really good. So there you go. Bring it back to 1, and then multiply it by the other one, which would be very, very handy. Okay, the elevation, calculate the floor. So going back to some work we did in year 11, in the markers comments, they mentioned that because you asked in square meters, the area of the floor, the best thing you can do is convert all of them into meters at the start. Okay, so we've got, let's say, let's do the top one, 10,000. And big important thing, all measurements in millimeters. So to get from millimeters to meters, we have to divide, I'm going to say 10,000 divided by 100. And that gets me into 100 centimeters. Okay, and then we want to divide by, is it 100? No, sorry, 10. That's when it was an extra 0 there. So there's 1,000 centimeters. And then we want to say 1,000 divided by 100. And that takes us into 10 meters. Okay. The other way you can do it is just say each one of these divided by, because we did 100 and then 10, that's the same as dividing by 1,000. So this one becomes 3, that becomes 10, that becomes 8. And these are meters, by the way. Meters, and 5 meters. Calculate the area of the building. So what we're going to do is break this up a little bit. I'm going to say A1 and A2. So A1, I probably wrote that way too big. A1 is equal to 8 times 5, which is 40 meters squared. A2 is 3. Now you want to know this distance here. How do you find that? The 10 minus 8, which is 2. So you're going to say 3 times 2, which is 6. And then we've got the total is the 40, and that's meters squared, plus 6 is equal to 46 meters squared. Nice. Okay. Please don't try to convert it after. If you did it after, you'd have to, each one of these conversions would have to be squared. So when you talk about going from millimeters squared to centimeters squared, you actually got to divide by 10 squared. Okay, so the power needs to match is one way to think about it. So that's that. All right, commission, way back to the start of year 11. A real estate agent commission for selling a house is 2% for the first 800,000 of the sale price and 1.5 for anything over that. Calculate his commission for selling a house. All right. So what this means is for the first 800,000, we're going to get 2%. So I'm going to do this one first because this price is over 800,000. How much over 800,000 are we? Let's find out. 1.5 million. 0.86. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep. Minus the 800,000. 2, 3, 4, 5. And that should give us 700,000. Okay, so we're 700. There's 700,000 over that. And that one goes to that 1.5%. And this is sort of real life thing. It's just to get the incentives for the real estate agents to sell. Okay, to push the price up as much as they can. The company also needs to make money, so they can't give them the whole property at 2% because they need to make some money. So this does tend to drop off. This depends on the real estate. We'll find 2%, so 800,000. 80,000, that's 800,000 times 2%. One, two, three, 4, 5. What's that? 16,000. And the other one. And you might go, hey, that seems like a lot. And yes, real estate agents do make a little bit of money, but it's not every day they sell a house. So multiply this one by the 1.5%. And don't forget, these people could also be on a retainer as well. $10,500. So 700,000 multiply 1.5% is equal to 10,500. And the total, add those two together, is $26,500. Okay, so yeah, so you might go, wow, that's a lot of money. You're right, it is a fair bit of money. But when these people are not selling houses every single day, that's got to get them to the next one that they do sell, which could be weeks or months. So something to think about there. In July, Miss Allott, received a statement of credit card. The account has no interest-free period, compound interest calculated daily, which is nice. Okay, so she got the limit, the statement date, which is important. The interest charged on the previous one. So previous balance was $529. Now, sorry, excuse me one sec. All right, sorry about that. 4 things. Previous balance, $529.46, and you can see they've made a payment. Great. And they've made another purchase. Okay, so the date of the purchase was the 29th of June, and we've got to get to the 23rd of July. Okay, so you've got to think about how many days are in June. Try to think about the 30 days at the rhyme. At the moment, it's sort of, I forgot it, but try the knuckles. If you have your knuckles, your fists together, the knuckles become the 31 days, and the tips between the knuckles become the ones that don't. And if I start from the left, just try it. It's like January, yes. February, no. March, yes. January, February, March, April, no, May, June, July, and don't include the bit between your thumbs. So you're like just pushing your two hands together to make two fists, and then it becomes August does, September doesn't, October does, November doesn't, December does. And so from that, if you can remember, so January, February, March, April, May, June. June is in a little divot, so there's only 30 days. But you've got to be very careful when it says interest is charged on the amounts from and including the date of the purchase and including up to the statement. So a really important point. So we need to know, we have to include this one, and we've also got to include the amount of days for 23. So how many days are in June? There's 30. So we're going to say for the days, there was 2 days in June because you've got to go 29th of June and the 30th of June, plus the 23 days of July until this statement. So we've got 25 days. Okay, so and it's given us that daily rate, which is really nice. You're told up at the top that it's compounding, so we can get the compound interest formula. And this bit at the bottom, minimum payment due. Okay, so is it $25 off 5% of the closing balance? So we've got to figure out what the closing balance, 5% of the closing balance was. Okay, so what we need to do is don't forget to add in the interest charged. So to find the interest charge, we are going to say 1721.50 to the bracket 1 plus 0.0521% to the power of 25. And I'm actually going to say this is just getting our closing balance, and I'm going to use that for a second. So rather than just find the interest, because I'm going to 5% of the closing, I want 5% of the closing balance really anyway. 1721.5 bracket 1 plus 0.0521. By the way, I think it's a band 6 question. It is quite difficult. Power 25. So that's our closing balance, and we've got to find 5% of that. So we'll times that by 5%. Okay, so 5% of that is $87.20. Okay, so which one's bigger, the 5% or the $25 or the 5%? And is indeed the $87. All right, how are we going for time? 2 minutes, I think. The next one's kind of short. No, that's all right. We'll get done the next one. All right, see you in the next video.